Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'm doing a reading for the Twin Flame Collective. Please keep in mind while you're watching this that this is a general reading, and so it's not going to resonate with everyone, and it's okay if it doesn't resonate with you. Just take what does and leave what doesn't. I strongly recommend that you will tap into your own intuition throughout this reading, so that as the messages are coming through and you're receiving them, you're not only picking up on what resonates with you and what doesn't, but also why it's resonating with you, or possibly even why it's not. And yeah, just definitely take your own intuition above anything that comes up in this video. So regardless of if the messages come across as positive or negative, don't force them to fit your situation. Just tap into yourself and what you know, and take what resonates, and just completely leave behind everything else that doesn't. And I also want to point out that this reading is supposed to be timeless. So if you're coming and seeing this video from the future, don't worry. This isn't this isn't a snapshot in time that just stays in that point. Whenever you're guided to this video is when you're supposed to be hearing the messages. So starting off with the Divine Masculine, in their headspace, this top row here, I'm really getting a sense that they're really trying to balance out what they think, and how they interpret this connection with their divine feminine, because I've mentioned it in a few previous videos now that I really feel a lot of the divine masculines are really coming into their spiritual awakening. I mean, many of them would have been on their spiritual awakening for a long time, but I feel that it's kind of either accelerated or just become more clear to them what this connection really is. So they're understanding that their divine feminine is someone who is significant on their journey here, and that there's much more than meets the eye, and you know there's more going on, even if you're not currently in communication, or the masculine doesn't quite understand the labels behind this dynamic. And honestly, the label really doesn't even matter. But so I feel that the masculine is starting to balance that out within them, and it's really giving them hope and inspiration about what their future can look like. I feel like it's making them, or encouraging them to assess what it is that they truly want in their lives. What does this Ten of Cups represent to them? In this picture, in this card, we've got, a family who's happy and the kids are dancing at the beach. But what does that mean for the divine masculine? And I really feel that they're starting to really dig deep and look at that. And so this could also mean that they're looking at their lives growing up, their childhood, possibly even past lives if they're at that point yet, and really processing the templates that, and the conditioning that they've been brought up in about what this means to them, and looking at it from a more spiritual, enlightened point of view. And I feel that they are also sensing that this is a direct result from having their divine feminine in their lives. And so yeah, I just feel that they're feeling really inspired to move forward in this way. And I do get a sense that a lot of the divine masculines are feeling their divine feminine's energy at this time. Obviously, we're always connected and we always feel each other's energy, whether we're aware of it or not. But I feel that this is also what is enabling them to feel inspired about this. Like, oh, so even if we're in separation, or even if we're not in communication, I can still get here. What is here for me? And, you know, some of the twin flames may have recently come into communication, and this could also be serving as the sudden boost of inspiration, and hope, and just really assessing themselves and what they want. And so with the divine feminine in their headspace, I feel that something has kind of clicked for the divine feminines recently, where they're feeling the Six of Wands represents victories and success and achievement and accomplishment. And I feel that the divine feminines are really, they've come to a point where they can look back at all the work that they've done throughout this journey, because there is a lot of hard work that is done, and sometimes it's really hard to see how much you've actually progressed, especially if the journey is still currently difficult for you. It's hard to look back and go, oh my gosh, I've done so much healing and I've cleared out so much that doesn't serve my highest good. And I feel that the divine feminine are really, some of them are starting to notice this within themselves and within their lives, and understanding that it's safe to take a leap of faith. You don't need the physical experience of this connection to know that it's still there. And so a lot of them are holding faith, seeing the changes in their lives because of this connection. And I feel because of that, they're really beginning to learn and become more proficient at standing in their truth, being more authentic with themselves, especially with the way that they think, not only about themselves, but this connection and life in general. So there's been a bit of a, I feel a lot of the feminines may have been having a lot of epiphanies about this this process that they're going through, and they know that they can safely move forward. There's new beginnings available to them, new ways of thinking and being along this journey. And yeah, they're definitely on the road to being more authentic and true and grounded in who they are as well. And in the heart space here in the divine masculine, we've got the Ten of Swords reversed. So this tells me that some pain and heartache is starting to lift. So I feel that through this balancing and, you know, assessing what it is they want in their lives, they're also beginning to really heal themselves emotionally. I feel that because of their coming to more of this understanding of what this connection is, they're starting to be a bit more gentle on themselves, and really knowing that there's no massive mistakes. Everything's happened for a reason. It's all a lesson. And I feel that because of that, they're allowing themselves to really feel their emotions of sort of what's happened in the past, and everything that's led up to this moment. And through that, I feel that a lot of the masculines are getting in touch with their intuition a lot more. And I know I keep saying that, but I'm really picking up on that, not only in these readings, but in private readings as well, and through people that I know. The intuition is really opening up for the divine masculine, and they're really understanding that they have to look below the surface. Not everything is what you can see, feel, touch, taste, smell. There's more going on, and because of that, they're feeling that with the release of the emotional heartache and difficulties, and possibly childhood trauma as well, that they've been holding on to, can be released. And this is how that a more grounded new beginning in their whole lives, not just their emotional lives, can start taking place. That this Ten of Swords, it doesn't have to be a forever thing. New things can take place that either heal or release things that they've been holding on to. And I can see in the divine feminine's heart space that they're doing something similar too. They've got the King of Wands with the Eight of Swords and the Queen of Pentacles. And to me, this is telling me that the divine feminine, they've been working a lot on their confidence, their self-love, and their self-esteem, worthiness. And I feel like they've really come to this. It's really given them the confidence boost and the creative ability to really look at themselves and see where they're keeping themselves trapped. So, a lot of the divine feminine have gone through Ten of Swords as well, heartache and everything, but I feel that a lot of the divine feminine are starting to release themselves from things, release themselves from possibly blaming themselves or feeling that these things that have gone wrong or haven't worked to what they thought it was going to work out to be, was their fault or there's something wrong with them. And I feel a lot of the divine feminine are starting to release that, realizing that holding on to these thoughts and ways of being is hurting no one but themselves, and they need to really change the way that they look at themselves, release themselves of guilt and shame and holding themselves back, and really come at this whole situation themselves as well as their twin flame connection and just their life in general, all relationships. They need to be more loving and nurturing and empathetic to themselves, because a lot of the divine feminine do this. They're nurturing and empathetic and compassionate towards other people. A lot of divine feminines will show non-judgment when other people come to them, but for themselves they're not as kind and gentle on themselves. So I feel the divine feminine are really figuring out how to do this for themselves now, how to show themselves self-love and release themselves from burdens and traps that despite things may have happened to make it seem like a real trap or real burden, that they're the ones holding themselves in this place. And so I feel that this is a real emotional release time for divine feminines. Divine feminines may have found themselves to be doing a lot of purging at this time, and it is mirroring the divine masculine as well and what they're going through. So a lot of this, even in the headspace, the divine masculine with the star and the Ten of Cups is quite similar to the victorious successful accomplishment of the Six of Wands, and then having the inspiration and joy to take a leap of faith and embrace new beginnings. So there's a lot of mirroring going on here, and I feel that both divine feminine and divine masculine will be having a lot of this healing and cleansing and letting go, not only within themselves but also on the 5D. So you may be experiencing dreams, or possibly even telepathically picking up on their energy or their thoughts and feelings, and you may see this as a reflection too. So definitely a big healing and clearing time for both the divine masculine and divine feminine. And in the divine masculine's 3D space, you can't quite see it all here, but we've got the Justice card, and we also have the Two of Swords that fell on top of the Three of Pentacles and the Nine of Wands. And so this tells me that there's a lot of balancing out happening in the divine masculine's everyday life as well. I feel that possibly where the divine masculine has felt injustice or wronged in their lives, or also if they've done this to other people, I feel like this is all starting to come into balance within their 3D experience, and they know that they need to make decisions about possibly how to go through this, because this can be quite difficult, but it can also be quite liberating, depending on how the scales are being balanced for you. They're really working hard towards making more clear decisions. In this card, the person's eyes are covered up by these swords, but we've got the moon here in the third eye area, and so I really feel that a lot of the divine masculine are bringing in this intuitive ability or increased inner knowings into their everyday lives, and helping them to make the decisions on figuring out, what do they put their time and effort into, who do they have to work with as well as a team in order to get these balanced scales, happening, and really incorporating the spiritual strength and resilience that they've been accumulating through this journey in order to get through whatever it is that's going on for them excuse me, in their physical lives right now. And so this could also be some of the divine masculines may have reached out to their divine feminines, because this again is a general reading. Not everyone's divine masculine will have reached out, but it could be that the divine masculine are really intuitively understanding that a decision needs to be made about whatever is going on in specific relationships or connections, and they're really getting that confidence and strength to push forward and come into communication to maybe balance out things that were left, like loose ends that need to be loose ends that really need to be tied off, or coming forward and having a frank and blunt discussion about what's gone on, and really working together to sort that out. And in the divine feminine's side, we've got the Five of Swords, and in this card, this lady has two swords in her back, and there's someone in the background walking away with the other three. And so I feel a lot of the divine feminine either are experiencing this in their 3D space, so others could have inflicted this on them. However, I feel that they've also got the high priestess and the empress. I feel that the divine feminine are really coming to terms with this heartache and this backstabbing and betrayal that may have happened. And it doesn't have to be that intense, but at the very least someone has walked away, and the divine feminine has been left feeling wounded. And I feel that the divine feminine is really, I feel that their inner abilities, their intuition, whether you're clairsentient, claircognizant, whatever goes on for you and how you get your information along this journey, I feel that it's really also heightened recently for a lot of you. And I feel that intuitively and empathetically as well, a lot of the divine feminines are starting to work through this, especially with the Eight of Swords. I feel that they're starting to really release a lot of what was held on with this situation. And so I'm also picking up that this is not only with the divine masculine, but other people in your lives. So you may have recently been hurt by a friend or a family member or a colleague, whatever. Maybe even a pure stranger has done something where you've been left feeling hurt or wounded, and they've walked off seemingly fine and happy. But I feel that you're really able to tap into your inner ability, that this is just another part of the journey where things need to be released and cleared. And I'm picking up that a lot of the divine feminine are understanding that sometimes when this happens to them, it's not about them. As I was saying with the Eight of Swords, it's not always yours to hold on to. Sometimes people do this and it has nothing to do with us, but the way that we react to it, or the way that we hold on to what happened, is ours to work on. So I feel that a lot of the divine feminine are figuring out how to really hold their boundaries and release it when it happens, understanding when it's something that they need to take on or leave behind. And therefore the wounds become less painful, or less, in the forefront of their minds, less physical for them, because they can figure out how to transmute it and move away from that experience. And so We also have some overall energy cards here, and this is for the divine masculine. We've got flexible and regeneration, and so with these cards I really feel that the divine masculine, through this healing, through the healing of the Ten of Swords reversed, and through understanding or figuring out where they want to be in their lives, and having this inspiration coming forward for them, they're really starting to regenerate. They're starting to heal from a lot that they have experienced. They're starting to heal conditioned ideas and templates within excuse me. They're starting to heal conditions and templates that they've taken on about how they're supposed to be in life, how they're supposed to act, what type of career they're supposed to be in. Like there's a lot of that is starting to change for the divine masculine, and so they're starting to really come into themselves a lot more, and because of that, it's allowing them to be more flexible in their lives and their belief systems as well, more flexible on this journey. And I feel that a lot of the divine masculine are playing with possibilities at the moment in their heads, and really they're understanding that, as I've been saying already, there's more to this than meets the eye, and they need to be flexible. They need to allow whatever comes their way to come their way, and know that they can regenerate through that. Know that they have these healing powers within them, both for themselves and for other people as well. So I feel that that's their overall energy, and that is what is allowing them to let go of pain and do this balancing out that they've been doing, and really take on their spiritual strength and the things that they do in their lives. Sorry, we've also got a advice card here, which is music for manifesting. To manifest rapidly, think of your desire while you chant, hum, sing, or play music. And so I feel that a lot of the divine masculine should really, it's not just, to me, even though this card is about music, I feel that it's really meaning anything that just really makes your heart sing, your heart soar, or your soul, whatever puts you in that mood and expression of emotions. Do that at this time in order to really manifest what it is that you want. That's when you know that you're manifesting what is for your highest good. When you're in alignment is when you feel that your heart or mind or soul is soaring and singing. That's when you know that you're in touch with what it is that you're supposed to be moving towards. And for the divine feminine, their overall energies is serendipity. So I feel that a lot of the divine feminines have been experiencing a lot of synchronicity, and just coming to these realizations of what they can hold on to release or clear, and what they can just actually let go of, what they can just walk away from. And so they're really embracing the process of coming more into loving themselves and treating themselves with as much compassion as everyone else. And this is allowing this type of energy to really flow into their lives, because they're not resisting anything, they're not holding on to anything or pushing it away, and it just lets things flow through a lot easier. And then for their advice card, they've got tranquility. Make time to relax, be still, and enjoy your solitude, indulging in much needed self-care, which I think is perfect considering everything that the divine feminine is purging out at the moment. It's really great to spend time figuring out what you need to cut yourself out of, but you also need to, alongside that, really engage in self-care. And that this is self-care too. This can be seen as shadow work or ego work, but you need to reward yourself as well. You need to do things that make you feel good, because again, you know, that's how you manifest. You need to be in a positive, tranquil state in order to really bring in what it is you want. And so regardless of what you could be going through and purging and experiencing, make sure that you take time out for yourself and that you really treat yourself the way that you'd want other people to treat you, or treat yourself the way that you would treat someone else who could possibly be going through a difficult time. And do it without guilt, do it without shame. Even if it's just 5 or 10 minutes alone to do whatever it is that you want to do, make sure you make the time to do that. So yeah, I hope this reading has helped bring you some clarity or confirmation about what could be going on for you. Again, if this doesn't resonate with you, because it is a general reading, then just leave it behind. Don't force it, don't try to make it fit, and just take on what has been resonating with you. And yeah, I'll see you all in the next video. Thanks.